All right, and oh, we're already live. Okay, I thought I had to hit the button. So, hey guys. All right, so we're live here on YouTube for the Xfinity series. They're getting all the drivers into their cars, ready to throw up the engines. I know I'm a little bit late to this. As I was getting set up to stream, a buddy needed me to trade him some Pokemon real quick, so I went and hopped on and did that. So hopefully you guys are doing pretty good. I know I am doing amazing, and we are back. It's been too long. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and set that off to the side. Alright. So yeah, working on some Pokemon here for the tournament with a few friends tonight. Last week's tournament, I actually ended up winning it, but yeah, you guys aren't here for Pokemon content. But last week we were down in Charlotte talking about the race at the track. Not much we could really do aside from that, but yeah, it was a pretty good weekend, honestly, at the track. Getting to see Sam Mayer win for the first time, or the first time I've gotten to see him win in person. Then you've got guys like, then getting to see AJ Allmendinger and Kyle Busch battle it out for the win on Sunday as they get ready to fire the engines here. But man, yeah, it was an amazing weekend. Glad I got to spend it with Patrick. And honestly, the entire weekend was pretty good. We went fishing in Pennsylvania on our way down. It was then we stopped in at the Hall of Fame. Didn't end up recording anything there like I'd originally hoped I would. So, yeah. But ultimately, pretty good day. So, here we go. So, engines are fired. We got 45 laps in stage number 1 here. 201 total laps in the race to get us to 302 miles, I guess. Not sure why they wouldn't go 200 laps, 300 miles, or whatever, because it's a mile and a half track. But yeah, here we go. They're gonna go to commercial break as we get ready to talk about some NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. Josh Berry on the pole. I haven't actually seen much of the starting lineup. Wait, what on earth is Retzloff doing up there? A Jordan Anderson racing car up in the top 5? Nice. Good job, Parker. Chandler and Sammy Smith both up there in the 3 and the 4 spots. Nice to see the Smith boys doing something. Got Sammy Smith will be going over and taking over the number 8 car next year. Chandler Smith reportedly wants to try and take over one of those 2 Toyota seats, which are going to be available because John Hunter Nemechek's going to Cup and Sammy Smith's going to Junior Motorsports. I might do a full in-depth kind of silly season recap video as we are starting to find a lot of these drivers kind of their long-term homes, but man. But yeah, there's been a lot of moving and shaking, so hopefully you guys are excited. I know I am for a run to the checkers here on the NASCAR Xfinity Series season. And honestly, the NASCAR season as a whole is getting pretty close to the finale here. So let me know what what the biggest surprise for you guys going into this race or going into this off season is. I think we could have a big surprise in terms of championships, but so far from this season, I'd say the biggest surprise, bias answer, Mike McDowell's surprise performance at the intermediate tracks, because again, he was able to point his way into a playoff spot. Or he was in position to point his way in. He ultimately got the win late in the regular season, which was also great. In terms of Sam Mayer's a pretty good one too. I'm trying to think of some of the other kind of big surprises from the season. Honestly, Ty Gibbs was a pretty big surprise, doing as well as he did for a rookie that seemed very impulsive towards the end of last year's Xfinity season. Very much a 180 this year. Raced pretty respectfully, besides that one incident in the All-Star race. I don't think he really made any of the NASCAR Cup Series drivers all that upset for a driver who was making everybody mad in Xfinity. So, I mean, you got into multiple incidents with Mayer. Hey, Scotty, how's it going? Here we go. So, you got Junior Motorsports on the pole. Hey, Layton Riggs up there in the top 10. Nice. Parker Kligerman, sad to see him out the playoffs now. He'll be starting in the 11th position. Kyle Weatherman in the 12th. And Brandon Jones rounding out your top 13. Let me pull up the full running order so I can actually scroll without messing it up for you guys. But, yeah, we are back home in Maine and ready to get back to it. So, let's see. So, I have Hemrick getting a top 11. I have Myatt Snyder in the number 19 car finishing outside the top 12. Then I've got Barry finishing inside the top 5. And then I've got Mayer and Brandon Jones both missing out on the top 7. So, honestly, I think, based on qualifying, I nailed those picks. But obviously, a lot can happen in the race. We'll have to wait and see. Win Belfry Pirates. All right. I'm assuming that's local either. I'm assuming high school football game there yesterday night. Actually, let me see how. It's early in the afternoon. How's college football looking? Which college games are going on today? Because I know I usually try and talk about a little bit of college football. Really, the only two teams I really care about a ton are my Gators and then the LSU Tigers. But let's see. Florida State beat Sycaris. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce that at least. The orange team. Alabama beat Arkansas barely. Wow. Vanderbilt and Georgia went at it. Georgia coming away with a win there. Ohio State thrashing Purdue. Not a big surprise there. And Michigan taking it to Indiana 52-7, the final score there. Then you've got California, Utah going at it. Oregon, Washington, a 6 versus 7 seed game there. UMass and Penn State playing it out. Their game just started. Them and Oregon, Washington are both 0-0 still. Then you've got Oklahoma State versus Kansas. That game is still in the first quarter. Oklahoma State having the first touchdown of the game, though. 7-0 over Kansas right now. Then you got Texas A&M taking on the University of Tennessee. Auburn and LSU is later tonight. We won't get a chance to talk about that one. But, yeah, those are most of the college games that are going on today. So, and here we go. They're back from commercial break, and they're talking about the starting grid. So, Custer, the highest of the playoff drivers. I wish there was a bigger distinction for the playoff drivers. Like, if they could do it, like, in all purple and then make, like, the fonts white or something, I don't know how that would look. I'd have to obviously play around with the colors in their system to know for sure how it would look, but I'd imagine it's decent. But where's Myatt Snyder starting? I heard them just mention his name, but it scrolled by a little too quick for me. Creed and Mayer, the 14th and 15th, two of the worst playoff drivers. Myatt Snyder starting 19th, driving the number 19 car. A lot of time, but again, I don't have the confidence necessarily in him as a driver. And John Hunter Nemechek at the tail of the field. That's going to be a long day for him. So they're going down pit road to check pit road speed. And, yeah, we're going to be getting ready to go racing here soon. But, yeah, so that's a quick college football update, though. Of course, my Gators aren't ranked top 25 right now, so I got to go ahead and check Gators football, too. Because I know Gators are playing right now. All right, there we go. We're up 7-0 so far. We're at a 4-2 record on the season. Okay, not bad for the Gators. Although we are third in our division, so we're behind Kentucky and Georgia. Are you kidding me? Come on. Okay, well, that's I guess that's how we're going for this team. So, all right, we're all set. We're settling in here. And I say, yeah, Missouri versus Kentucky. That game is going to be happening tonight. Let me take a look real quick at that one. Yeah, University of Kentucky there versus Missouri. That one's happening at 7:30. I won't say this race likely won't be live at that point unless we have a significant amount of overtime or a rain delay. How on earth is Miami still ranked after last week? Miami should not be ranked after what they did last week. And for those of you guys who don't know what I'm complaining about, all their coach needed to do was knee the ball and they win the game. They tried to call a run play, fumble the ball, and it turns into a opportunity for a touchdown to win the game for the other team. I mean, that is a big blunder. And here we go. They should be getting ready to Barry switches his lane here as they come to the start-finish line. Barry changing to the top line here over Custer as they get ready to go to the green flag here. All right, lights go off on the pace car. It'll be green next time by. Sorry, a little bit of clarification. We're getting ready for the green next time by. So that's why they were getting in the line. And again, I'm surprised to see Barry making that change that late. I don't know if he was trying to do that to just throw everybody off or what, but yeah, here we go. We got 23 people already in here. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuning in. All right. So here we go. Let's see. This is going to be their first golden ticket for these Xfinity guys as we get ready to go here. I'm going to settle in for the race and winning this race definitely gives a big advantage for any driver trying to make it to the championship as the favorite, because you get essentially 2 weeks. Your team gets 2 free weeks to prepare that Phoenix car versus the other teams who have to worry about making sure that they'll make it to Phoenix. Being able to win your way to Phoenix here in the first game or in the first race is going to be very important. And in this Xfinity series, it honestly could be very wide open depending on, again, if somebody wild could win, like a Sam Mayer, I wouldn't put it out the realm of possibility he could potentially end up being a favorite at Phoenix in a couple weeks. It might be a little bit outside the ordinary, but I wouldn't say it's impossible here. As pace car dives for cover, leaving the field in the hands of Josh Berry, Cole Custer as they go through the restart zone. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Las Vegas. Green, green, green. So, here we go. We're back, and we are ready to go racing. Cole Custer, though, looking like that inside line might pay off here early. We'll have to wait and see how Josh Berry uses this high line as they enter the corner. They are side by side as they go through 2. Still side by side down the back straightaway. A lot of momentum for both drivers. A big push, though, and still a little bit bunched up better on the top line. And there we go. Berry into turn 3, and that's the momentum he needed. Josh Berry in turns 3 and 4 clears Cole Custer, and on the inside, I think that was Chandler Smith there going to the inside of Cole Custer and also making the pass in turn 3. So I don't know what happened to Cole Custer there, but he lost a spot on the inside and outside. I guess middle of 3 wide is what happened to him. But yeah, so here we go. Everybody's starting to try and feel out that momentum. You got Sammy Smith on the bottom of the number 10 car trying to find some kind of ground here, fighting it out for 4th with Daniel Hemrick. You've got Parker Retzloff there hanging around inside the top 7 or so, just trying to hang out. And honestly, I think he's just trying to ride for a little while, get to the finish of this first stage, and then see what you got. But yeah, here we go. And wow, we got a lot of people in here. Thank you guys. But yeah, right now, the top 3 have already started to separate themselves by a little bit, though, here. You got Yeah, Barry, Smith, and Custer starting to separate themselves from Hemrick and the others. I don't know if Hemrick's slower. Oh, we got a crash. The number 53 with a lot of smoke. Not sure if he had a tire go down or if that smoke is from something happening in the back, but I don't know. It's hard to tell if that was just an engine failure, it looks like, because the front end looks perfectly fine. So with the amount of smoke, I would say engine failure there for the number 53 car. Who's driving that 53 this week anyway? Because there's been a lot of different drivers to the 53. That is Patrick Emmerling. So Patrick Emmerling, yeah, no, okay. So, yeah, no contact or anything there. Just a complete plume of smoke. John Hunter Nemechek already up into the top 20. What on earth? I mean, literally, how on earth did he go from dead last to 19th in, what, 4 laps that we were green? There is no way. There is no conceivable way he went from 38th to 19th that quickly. I mean, he might have gotten a couple of spots from other guys losing their having to go to the tail end, but I don't know. He's showing him in 19th right now. I'm curious to see if he stays there, but that is a lot of spots to have gained very quickly. I know the back half of the field usually isn't quite as competitive as the front half, but still thought there'd be some competition there. Daniel Dye making his first Xfinity Series start here for Alpha Prime Racing, driving that number 44 car. Pretty good. Ryan Reed, out of the shadows of the unemployment line, comes up to racing the number 66 MBM Chevrolet here. He's currently in 28th place. Last time we saw him, he was driving that Roush number 16 car, the Lilly Diabetes car, prior to, obviously, the downfall of the Roush Xfinity program in 2018 when that number 60 car single-handedly bankrupted the entire organization. So, yeah. So, let's say, pretty quick early caution here. Parker Retzlaff falling back to 8th. Again, I just don't think that car necessarily has the restart speed. He was just trying to find a spot to kind of fall in line and hang out for a little while. Hemrick, though, looking fast. Sam Mayer's surprisingly moving up the grid pretty well here. He's up to 7th. So, I need him one spot further back, but a long way to go here. But, yeah. So far, though, again, early on in this race, but should hopefully be a pretty good race. I always love the racing at Las Vegas. That outside line being good enough to work, but the, and the inside line providing a consistent option, unlike at tracks like, well, I guess Kansas more so in the video games, in the NASCAR video games, but like Homestead, almost everybody gravitates right to the top of that track, and there's not much question about which lane's best. Here, there's a legitimate question of, is the inside or outside lane better, and is it depending on your car, or is it depending on you as a driver being better? Because both are big factors here. I gotta know exactly what spot he started this race in. Like, because I do not believe that he passed 30, or not 30, but did he really pass nearly 10 cars? Actually, wait. No, nearly 20 cars in that short a time. I find it impossible to believe that John Hunter Nemechek is that fast. If he is that fast, he should definitely be in Cup next year. But here we go. Let's go. So Sam Mayer up quite a few spots early on. Lane Riggs hanging on to that top 10 spot. Kyle Weatherman. I didn't give a ton of a shout out to Kyle Weatherman when I saw him starting up in 12th. But he's up. He's managed to maintain an 11th here for the start of the race. Parker Kligerman fell back to 16th here. They're talking with the 98th crew chief here. Where's the 98? He's 20th right now. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, let's say John Hunter Nemechek though definitely. I think I was talking about like surprise of the year. Honestly, if John Hunter Nemechek has that kind of speed, that might be surprise of the year, and it won't be surprise of the year if he wins the championship if he's got that kind of speed behind him. But who knows if that speed will translate, obviously. This track very different from the Phoenix Raceway where the championship venue is held. But if he locks himself in at this point, that could be a threat. Now, obviously, again, long way to go. He could still have, it could be that he has really good short run speed, but the long run speed just isn't there. But it's very hard to judge whether or not he has long run speed until we get a long run. We haven't had one of those yet, so let's see. I wish I thought to grab some water before I got on here, but Austin Hill there in the 21. You got Sheldon Creed he'll be restarting in the 12th position. He recently confirmed that he will not be in that car next year. I wouldn't be shocked at this point to see Ty Dillon potentially get that ride. I think a talented Xfinity Series ride is exactly what he needs. And at this point, the team at RCR and in general, Ty Dillon's management crew should be trying to do what's best for him. Now, maybe sponsors really want him in Cup, but I don't know. I think, again, at this point, it's a confidence game, and he needs to build something in that Xfinity Series more than just one win at Indy. So, I mean, look at what Cole Custer's done. He went down to Xfinity. He looks to be one of the championship favorites, potentially, here. And, yeah, could be a pretty good one, but a long way to go still. Let's see. Jeremy Clements up to 13th. That's not a bad one. I'll give a shout out there. The other Jordan Anderson racing car, Parker Retzloff, obviously in 7th. But you've got Jeb Burton all the way up into 14th. That's a pretty good day there so far for both Jordan Anderson racing cars. Anthony Alfredo driving the BJ McLeod Motorsports 78, currently in 17th. Kind of next on the pick list for Nemechek to go up there and pass. Trying to see if there's any other notable names. I mean, you've got Rajah Caruth driving the 45 this week for Alpha Prime. Not really many other notable names for part-timers, which is a little unfortunate. But at this point in the Xfinity season, a lot of your interesting Xfinity pop-offs just aren't able to run. Like Kyle Busch, any experienced Cup driver, isn't able to run. So here we go. Just taking a quick peek over at the college stuff again. California versus Utah tied at 7 here in the second quarter. You got Washington and Oregon. Is that really only set? Yeah, it's only 7-0. It's 7-0 Washington. Then you got Texas A&M being the first to score in their match against the University of Tennessee. They're still in the first quarter there as well. UMass and Penn State still tied at 0. University of Kansas and Oklahoma State currently locked at 14-7, still in the first quarter there as well. So, I'm going to say 4 good games there. Actually, 5 good games, really. I mean, I think Oklahoma State might be starting to turn into a blowout, but again, it's still a 1-score game there, so it could be good. And we're back from the break, so that's actually pretty good. That was timed out very well. So here we go. Yep, that's John Hunter Nemechek passing nearly 20 cars in 3 laps. What on earth? Like, how on earth is he doing this? just sticks on the outside of everybody and just roars around them all. Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek just kind of riding in line there, waiting for the caution that eventually fell. But man, that is incredible to watch a driver of any level be able to pass 20 cars that quickly. I mean, Jimmy Johnson did it a number of times in his career, from starting at the rear at places like Dover and Martinsville, making a absolute passing clinic early on in those races. Now, those are obviously the best tracks. I guess maybe this is just one of Nemechek's best tracks, maybe. Here we go. They're doubled up. Pace car dives to the inside and leaves the field in the hands of Barry and Chandler Smith here now on the front row. So Chandler Smith, as they refire it, he has a little bit of wheel spin there. Hopefully not enough to derail his day, but it will probably help make this a little bit more consistent for Barry. No, actually, Chandler Smith able to get out in front and clear Josh Berry here into the corner. So Josh Berry already gets passed for the lead here. Chandler Smith going to make the first official lead change of the day. And Chandler Smith able to continue to block here. Because that's really the kind of the game here between Berry and Smith now is Berry wants to get that number one spot back, and he will try and throw something different at Chandler each and every lap, I think, to try and force Chandler to miss on the prediction as to where he's going to go in blocking. But right now, it looks like Chandler Smith, though, doing a pretty good job of keeping the air off the nose of that number 8 car here. So let's see. As I say, Barry is going to have to look at that 00 in behind him and think, oh, we got another caution. Joe Graff Jr., the second car involved here. So this time it looks like a blown tire of some kind. But yeah, Joe Graff Jr. done. He's probably done for the day there. That number 38 Ryan Sieg Racing machine there. But yeah, man, that looks like a decent hit. I don't know how. I'd have to see the replay to know exactly how big a hit, but it's definitely sizable. Glad he's okay. But let's see what ends up happening. Oh, Brett Moffitt hit the wall, and he ended up getting back into it. And there we go. Austin Eckler returning to the Chargers this week. Let's go. So, Austin Eckler returning to the Chargers. All the top running backs starting to return to their teams. Obviously, my Colts just recently signed Jonathan Taylor to a 3-year deal. So I'm excited about that one. We got our guy. I said he should get paid, and he better do something if he's getting paid. But yeah, ultimately though, we're going to another commercial break because there's another yellow flag. I'm gonna grab some water because I need it. But I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry about the delay, but we are back and we are ready to hopefully go back racing. Not sure what happened. I'm gonna try to put. There we go. Oh, they're just getting back from commercial break. That is perfectly timed here. Let's go. I'm gonna try Xing out the race just to make sure I'm caught up as far as I can be, but let's go ahead. Oh, yep, we're pretty well caught up. Alright, so Josh Williams getting ready to welcome a new kid. Hey, thanks, Toasting You, for the dono there. Yeah, I'm gonna say, we're getting ready to go back racing here, but man, thank you, though, for that one. First time I've ever actually gotten a dono on the stream, but yeah. Here we go, so they're showing, obviously, the 92 car. I'm assuming the pink on the side of his car is for the breast cancer awareness, but they also had the pink cupcakes because they announced that they're having a baby girl there, so it's pretty cool to hear about for Josh Williams. Hope to see him run well next year. Alright, here we go. So, Sam Mayer talking to his team right now. They're listening in on that radio, talking about how he's a little unstable when he's side-by-side with another car, which is not good because you're going to be side-by-side a lot of the day today. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this Stage 1 poll because I forgot about these last week. Stage 'Who will win Stage 1? Do we think it'll be Chandler Smith, Josh Berry, oh yeah, hey, I'll keep it up as long as you guys keep enjoying it. I've had a lot of fun all year doing almost every NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and truck race, and hoping for even better racing next year. As I say, it's getting down towards the end of the NASCAR near the end of the playoffs even. First ticket to the championship getting ready to get punched, but they're getting ready to do his choose cone here as Cole Custer is the last name on the list. Cool. And then other, because we only get 4 options here on YouTube with polls. So there you guys go. Alright, so here we go. So they're doing the choose cone. Everybody's choosing inside or outside lane. We got Daniel Hemrick choosing the inside lane to go to the back bumper of his Chevy-affiliated teammate there, as he was the 4th guy to get a choice to picks and didn't want to take 3rd car outside lane for fairly obvious reasons. I really don't think there's much advantage to choosing inside versus outside lane. Now, if it's going to be even positioning, you probably want the outside lane, but a lane further forward is way more valuable than the bit there would be, so an extra row further forward is more valuable than the benefit that you would get from choosing the outside here, unlike at Martinsville in a couple of weeks where choosing that outside will be a massive advantage in terms of gaining spots, but that's just because that inside line is going to be the way to go. So, curious to see how the choose cone ends up working in those specific events, but alright, so far we think somebody thinks Chandler Smith's getting it, a couple other people think somebody from outside that top 3, maybe a Daniel Hemrick, maybe a Sammy Smith. As we go back to Green Flag Racing, Green, green, green. Josh Berry looking to the inside. He's going to look strong here, but it's going to be tough to battle that outside line. That outside line so far has appeared to be very good on these restarts, and no help behind Josh Berry. Daniel Hemrick lined up behind him, but I guess Daniel Hemrick didn't want to help him. And looking at it, it's not a big surprise, because now that I look at it again, even though it's a Chevy teammate in front of him, it was his colleague racing teammate on the other side of the front row, so he probably didn't want to help another Chevy driver beat his in-house teammate. So I guess it makes sense why Hemrick wasn't looking to push. But yeah, here we go. So Chandler Smith and Cole Custer both able to clear Josh Berry here as they are watching that battle in the middle of the field here. Parker Retzlaff looking very impressive in the middle of the field, battling right now with Justin Allgaier for that 7th position here as that battle for the lead. It's Custer and Smith here looking for the battle here. And the points battle for the final spot in the playoffs. Obviously still 2 races plus the rest of this one to go, but right now Custer looking only 1 point to the good over Allgaier, despite Allgaier running back in about 7th, 8th place. Actually, no, Allgaier 2 points to the good over Custer now as he goes and makes a place. Oh, yeah, I know. I hate the stop and start nature of some of these Xfinity races, but I'm hoping that we'll start to kind of get in a little bit of a groove, at least for the next 20 or so laps. It's got about 20 or so laps here for them to hopefully start to get in a rhythm. But yeah, no, I don't like the start and stop nature that these races tend to get, especially in the Xfinity Series race. And once they start, usually it's hard to get them to stop doing the start and go, or the stop and go, I mean. Are you kidding me? John Hunter Nemechek is passing Sheldon Creed for 8th. He's up 30 spots in 20 laps. I mean, granted, he was up 20 of those spots in the first 4, but... Oh, uh-oh. Went and started my music, not my thing, but how on earth do you get a car to go to 8 from 30th to 8th on a mile and a half? I mean, because it's not like he's passing pushovers, because the first 20, I could maybe argue, okay, there were a lot of young drivers and not great equipment at the back half of the field. He just passed an RCR car for 9. I mean, there is no other way to put it. That is freaking impressive to see Nemechek up into 8th place here. And it's big because he's still in playoff contention. He needs these points, and now he's in position to start getting some of these points for the stage. So, very good job for John Hunter Nemechek and the 20 car here from Joe Gibbs Racing. My dad did mention while I was grabbing my water that they better hope they avoid the inspection line, and yeah, hope the inspection line doesn't ding them, because that kind of fast car could potentially be out of spec. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. But yeah, right now though, looking the inside, you got Sammy Smith battling with Josh Berry here. That's the battle for 4th here. Berry's starting to slip a little further back. Let's see. But yeah, Sammy Smith has kind of slowed down the pace. He looked very good at the short tracks in the spring, and maybe Martinsville would be a good shot for him to try and rekindle a little bit of that. But he's got 2 mile and a half that he's got to perform at before he can get there. All right, let's see. What else we got going on track? Because the TV broadcast doesn't usually show the best battles on the track. Well, Parker Retzlaff still hanging on to that top 10 spot. Sam Mayer falling further back. Myatt Snyder back in 16th. He is starting to climb a little bit, which is nice. And Brandon Jones in 11th. That's starting to climb a little bit there. I'm a little worried on that one, but rest of my picks looking halfway decent, though. I mean, Hemrick's still up in the top 5. That's okay. Here we go. So Lane Riggs trying to block Parker Kligerman gets a little bit. So that one was close. I think Kligerman's certainly not going to be happy about that one. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening here. But Barry is really not looking good after losing the lead, though. I don't know if that car was just built to lead or something, but there goes John Hunter Nemechek to 7th here, passing Josh Berry, and now trying to pass Allgaier. So Justin Allgaier here, battling it side by side with John Hunter Nemechek, the 7 and the 20. These are your two. I think these two here pretty much are your championship favorites, and have been almost all year long. It's been Nemechek, it's been Allgaier, and it's been Custer. Those are really your 3 championship front runners, and then behind them you've got a couple of other guys. Like Barry has looked strong at times despite not winning. Austin Hills looked very strong at times, but again, he hasn't necessarily had the winning speed at the right time so far. But I guess it doesn't really matter as long as he gets to this round, but you got to start to show some speed here for Austin Hill. Oh, yeah, so, Daniel Hemrick hitting the brake pedal on the restart, and that's what Justin Allgaier was screaming at, that they just played the old audio from. So, Allgaier not happy about that. Again, I think that was him trying not to help help Josh Berry pass the 16 at Chandler Smith as they go to a side-by-side commercial break here, as we hit lap 31 here in the race. So Josh Berry and others still holding strong at the top 2 spots on the pole versus Chandler Smith and Cole Custer here, who are tied at 2nd. I'm going to say a pretty good race, honestly, though. Again, they're starting to settle in. It was a really slow start with all the stop and go. Give us a good time, though, to talk about a lot of the underdogs and part-timers in this field. One we didn't actually mention, Brennan Poole there, seeing him in the number 6. I don't know if we mentioned him earlier. I don't think we did. But, there's quite a few kind of special stories to talk about in this race. But, yeah, unfortunately, they aren't running all that well. All right, let's go ahead and refresh college football scores, and we'll just take a quick peek at them. So, Utah and California getting ready to end their first half of play there. Looks like it's still... it's 2nd and goal there on the 1 for Utah. Okay, so that might be some points. We'll have to keep an eye on that. They got 34 seconds left in the half. So, Utah could potentially score and go up 14 to 7 in that game. It's still currently tied at 7. Then you got Oregon versus Washington. Oregon getting the touchdown with a 2-point conversion there to take the lead as the first quarter is starting to dwindle down. Penn State starting to pull away from UMass 13-0 as they are in their second quarter of play. Kansas State and University of Kansas and Oklahoma State. That game is certainly a lot closer now, 17-13. They have also entered their second quarter of play, and in the waning minutes of the first quarter in the Tennessee Tech versus the University of Tennessee versus Texas A&M game, it's 7-0, but Tennessee has the ball, so we'll have to wait and see. But and Utah gets an automatic first down on touchdown, Utah. So touchdown for Utah there over in the college football world. Figure a quick little peek at that while we're at side-by-side commercials. And here we go. Cole Custer looking strong there on the outside line here and takes the lead away from Chandler Smith. As we got 10 laps to go here, now 9 to go in this first stage. So Cole Custer to the race lead. Then you got Chandler Smith and Sammy Smith running 2nd and 3rd here. Josh Berry has stabilized himself in 8th place here. Parker Kligerman 9th. What happened to Parker Retzloff? Parker Retzloff back in 14th place now. Myatt Snyder up to 13th. That's about as high as I need him. Come on, no higher. Although I don't anticipate him making it the whole race because that crash record for the 19 has not been the best this year. Especially with their non-cup drivers in the car. Like, guys like Ty Gibbs and stuff have been able to carry the number 19 car pretty well, but the other part-timers they've had in that car, like Joe Graff and Snyder, haven't necessarily carried that car the way it should. But, yeah, right now the 8 just trying to hold off the 48 here for the race lead. Or not for the race lead, sorry, for 8th place in the race here. But, man, Josh Berry is absolutely, I don't know what's wrong with that car, but that car is not the same car that we saw leading this race in the early stages a few minutes ago. John Hunter Nemechek, he has made his way to 6th place. He has finally beaten Allgaier. That side-by-side battle has been settled. And he has now set his eyes on Austin Hill in 5th. Can he get to 5th here in the first stage here? Let's say if he gets all the way to 5th in the first stage, I mean, that is, again, it's already impressive, but man, there's something to be said though about being able to go and absolutely show up like that. Oh, and Barry has now lost that spot to Clearman here. He's back to 9th, and he's barely holding on to a top 10 spot. As I say, sounds like the team is making plans to try and fix him up. I guess they really tuned that car for the clean air, because ever since he lost the clean air, he has been awful. And now that Chandler Smith's no longer the race leader, it's Custer, Nemechek, Hill, and Allgaier, the 4 guys above the cut line. Allgaier currently 11 points above Chandler Smith for the final spot. So we got some pretty good, some pretty good points battling. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, how... Oh, whoa! The one of Sam Mayer just got really loose there. And the broadcast barely mentions it. Yay! We love it when the broadcast fails. But, yeah, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to look down a little bit further. Lane Riggs has fallen to 16th place here. Sam Mayer to 15th. Yikes, they are having a really rough time here. Maya Snyder passes Sheldon Creed for 12th here. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's looking pretty decent for Snyder, actually. Obviously, comparing him to his teammate, though, it's hard to really compare, because John Hunter Nemechek has been absolutely flying through the field, including passing his teammate at one point. But right now, though, Cole Custer, as they take 2 laps to go, it's looking like it might be a Cole Custer show here. And I say, what can Sammy Smith do here? He's closing in on the back bumper of his not brother here between the 2 Smiths. No relation, again, as far as I'm aware, there's no relation between the 2 Smiths in the Xfinity series. And I don't think there's any relation to Zane Smith in the Truck Series either, but let's say it would be funny to have 3 Smiths, 3 wide in an Xfinity or Cup race next year. Not sure what other races that Zane Smith will be racing, but we know he'll be full-time in Cup. As Cole Custer takes the white flag in the first stage of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race, the AlscoUniforms 302 here. And the 0-0 all the way to the fence. No contest here. He's just going to see how many cars he can lap there as he takes the stage win. It's Cole Custer, Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, your top 3. Then you got Hemrick and Austin Hill, your top 5. So John Hunter Nemechek coming up 6th place after starting tail end of the field. Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Brandon Jones, Parker Clearman, and Riley Herbst, the final drivers to finish inside the top 10. Some good performances for a lot of drivers who we wouldn't normally consider hometown Riley Herbst doing pretty well there. Barry comes home the first driver without points. Myatt Snyder up to 12th here, so some pretty good performances from the non-playoff guys, aside from obviously Josh Berry. I even completely forgot, Josh Berry is not even a playoff driver. I totally thought he was still a playoff driver. My bad. So, I still hope he can get a top 5 here today, but man, that car needs some serious work on it if it's going to get back to the top 5. All right, so Tennessee scores before the end of the first, as they end the first quarter there, ties the game at 7 apiece with Texas A&M. Kansas has the ball there. Utah goes into the halftime 14-7. The score at halftime in Utah versus California. Washington goes up 14-8 as the Oregon game goes into their second, as the Oregon game ends the first quarter here. And Penn State 14-0 over UMass, still in that second quarter. About 11 minutes and change on the clock in that game, so it's definitely starting to stretch itself out. And let's take a look at Gators game. Gators aren't leading this one anymore. It's a 13-14 football game in the second quarter here for the Florida Gators. This is really starting to look shaky because we do have an off week, but then we get to go get pummeled by Georgia here, which is not going to be fun. So yeah, Georgia on the 28th is going to be the Gators' next game. So we had a week off, but again, that Georgia team is not going to take it easy on us. I mean, this Florida team just can't seem to get much going. I mean, they got a decent pass game, but 4 carries for 13 yards out of their running back is just not what you need. But, yeah, just a quick look again. Gators are my team, so I apologize if I talk about them more than I'd like to talk about the other games or more in depth. But if you guys want to watch college football is available to watch. And here we go. We're back from commercial break on the NASCAR side of things, as pit road should be open this time, I believe. Let's see. And yep, there we go. Cole Custer leads pretty much everybody down to pit road. And yeah, that's pretty much everybody here. Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, Cole Custer, the 3 drivers that they're going to feature as they come down to pit road. Chandler the first to stop in his pit stall. He's got the earliest pit stall on pit road here. Currently at 6, 7, 8 seconds here on the stop. We're looking for probably about a mid 12 to 13 second stop. No, it's going to be a 15-3 there for Chandler Smith. That seems a little slow. Although maybe I'm just used to Cup Series stops here. 13-9 for Sammy Smith. Okay, that's a little bit better. And here we go. John Hunter Nemechek drag racing the 16 as they go down pit road. Cole Custer going to leave with the lead still, which is important. Then you got Sammy Smith, Hemrick both gaining a spot. Chandler Smith losing 2 spots, and you got Nemechek, Allgaier both gaining 1 spot each. Austin Hill losing 2. Riley Herbst gaining 2. So a lot of gains and losses here on the pit road. Alright, so here we go. Man. Come on. Alright, here we go. So yeah, actually, I guess I can do a quick preview of the Sunday football games that we are going to have coming up. Just pull up NFL games. Scores, that'll be good enough. So, Chiefs beat the Broncos at in Kansas City on Thursday night. No real big surprise there that the Chiefs go to 16-0 against the Broncos in the last 16 games. Tomorrow morning, the Ravens and Titans will be playing before we get to our before we kick off the stream for the Xfinity or for the Cup race tomorrow. Then we got Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Texans. So some pretty good games here in the 1 o'clock slot. Commanders, Falcons. I hope that's a decent game, but I don't know about that one. Colts, Jaguars. You got Colts being my team. You got we're going to be playing without our starting quarterback, so hopefully the Gardner Minshew revenge game will go well. That game is for the lead in the division. Seahawks, Bengals. Seahawks players starting to sound like they think Devon Witherspoon's going to have a pretty big game against the Bengals, according to DK Metcalf specifically. Bears and Vikings battling it out for the bottom in the NFC North. 49ers and Browns are getting ready to go ahead and fight. Those are your 1 o'clock games, and then the rest of the games will be starting while we're on stream tomorrow. But yeah, those are the 1 o'clock games, and obviously the Ravens Titans game is playing in London, so that'll be a 9:30 start time for that one. And I'll be at work, so hopefully I'll be able to tune into a radio broadcast of that. But here we go. So yeah, they're showing some highlights from Bristol a couple weeks back. Justin Allgaier winning that race after battling with Dale Jr. for the race lead. I was bummed to see Dale Jr. flame out in that race. He was doing so well. But Dale Jr., he will be back next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will be able to stream that one. Yes, let's go. Xfinity Series and Dale Earnhardt Jr. take on the Homestead Miami Speedway. Right, the same place that Dale Jr. got his iRacing win in the Pro Invitational Series. Because Dale Jr. Dale Jr. lost that one on a heartbreaking finish, wasn't it? But yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, the Bristol Xfinity race was the only race you missed this season, and Dale Jr. competitive for the lead. Yeah. If you could just not show up, if you could just miss the entire Xfinity race, that'd be great, because I want to see him. I want to see Junior run well again, and I totally think that could very well be a coincidence. So take one for the team. Skip the race, and hopefully Junior can go ahead and win that one, because I think it'd be amazing to see Dale Jr. win an Xfinity race. But yeah. Because that totally is caught. You watching or not watching the race totally causes Dale Jr. to run better or worse. Because, yeah, that's totally how physics and car mechanics work. But here we go. Uh-oh, problems for the 48. Are you kidding me? Uncontrolled tire for the 48. Come on, man. They're doing their best. But yeah, so next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern for the Xfinity race at Miami, where Dale Jr. will be returning to the track for his second race of the season. But man, Hemrick and Chandler Smith, that could be a deadly combo there in the top three, if those two can link up together. And here we go. Yeah, they're linked up on the inside line, so inside line is two Kaulig Racing drivers. Meanwhile, that outside line's got Cole Custer, the Stage 1 winner here. Come on, why are we riding on board with a car in like 20th place here? As we go green flag racing. Green, green, green. I mean, I like Rajah Caruth, but I don't see any real reason we should be riding on board with a guy in like 20th place here. As we got the say, Daniel Hemrick looking like he might want the race lead here. Got those colleague teammates working together on the bottom as best they can, but that outside line plus Cole Custer having a very good race car looking very prevalent here. It'll be a tough one, but it could happen. So here we go. Let's see. We got our first lap in the books here. Oh, and we got a crash. Oh, is that an engine going out? I don't know. They say Raja Karuth was around. Well, hey, you know what? Credit to you, NASCAR. You called one of the drivers who was going to be involved in this one. But there are quite a few cars in the back half of this field torn up. Flat tire on the rear of Caruth's car. We're going to have to wait and see what ended up happening here. The 78 of Alfredo, the blank hood on that car, and it's torn up here. That is a bummer. The 91 of Kyle Weatherman, he was running very well. The 26 of Sam Hunt Racing. Who was in the 26 this week? Is that the 26? That was Kaz Gralla. So Kaz Gralla gets collected in this one here. Yeah. I gotta see a replay of what happened because I don't even know what caused it. They said an engine gave way, but I don't know. I see blown tires and damage everywhere. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah. Yeah, I've missed a few of the Xfinity and trucks this year just because I've been at work. And I've even missed a couple of the Cup races that got delayed to Mondays due to work as well, so. Yeah, unfortunately, work is work, but we've gotten to see quite a few races. In fact, I'm just going to take a quick look. Let's see how many races in total I've actually been able to do this for so far this year. And I say we're only we're 24 subscribers away from hitting that 2,400 mark on the subscriber count. So let's see, playlists. Between the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and trucks, we have, this is our, what is this? This is like, we've got to have done at least 50 or so of these things. I'll have to check it afterwards and see, because we have a couple of times where, like, the stream died and I had to start it up again, and that doubled it up. Then you've got and then you got a couple of other streams that I need to clear out of here in the playlist. But yeah, we've done a lot of streaming this year, though, and definitely my best year on YouTube as a content creator. And that's all thanks to a lot of you guys here in the chat, showing up each week, hanging out as we talk about these ones. And we got the red flag being deployed. The red flag flies as they go to the commercial break. So they're going to red flag this thing, try and get everybody cleaned up and try and get the oil dried, and also make sure that the field isn't going to be running over debris in turns 1 and 2, because there was a lot of cars around. Might have been 3 and 4. Hard to tell the difference when it's all covered in smoke and wrecked race cars. But yeah, Vegas would have been a great one to go ahead and see in person, but I've never been further west than about Nashville. Like, I think Nashville is literally the furthest west I've ever been. Wasn't there for a race. In fact, the only tracks I've ever been to were Pocono, New Hampshire, Bristol, and now Charlotte for both the road course and the oval this year. But hey, you know what? 2 Charlotte races in 1 year, that's pretty good. Bummed I missed the one in the final dirt race at Bristol. Alright, here we go. So back from commercial break, and we are ready to go. We're gonna have to wait and see. Okay, so it was turn 3 and 4 where the crash happened. So because they've stopped the field on the back straightaway here. Hard to tell without kind of continuing to rack up laps to see who's actually out the race, but so we're going to have to wait and see. So Sammy Smith had to start tail of the field, it looks like, due to some kind of penalty. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, it looked like Raja Karuth had a tire go down before anything actually happened. So I think, I don't think that was a engine going bad. I think that was just a blown tire, and then everybody kind of spinning out behind him trying to get slowed up. Definitely a chain reaction there, but yeah, I don't think it was an engine problem. Alright, here we go. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed I didn't get Fantasy Friday out last night. I really wanted to try and get it out, but yeah, my equipment was still in the car because I hadn't really unpacked a ton. I don't unpack quickly, and that's one of the things I need to get better at if I'm going to travel to more races, that I need to actually unpack quickly. And I say, it's the first tire issue of the day, but I'm not saying that the tires are completely blameless, but the first two crashes were both engine issue. Well, the first one was definitely an engine issue. The second one appeared to be an engine issue. Maybe Joe Graff Jr. says something different when he leaves the medical center or whatever, but yeah, the first one was definitely an engine failure. But yeah, the red flag flying here though early on. So you're gonna have to wait and see where everybody lines up here on the restart, as they're still under the red flag. If you guys have anything you guys want me to talk about, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of keep bouncing back and forth between a couple of different college games. 21-0 Penn State, and UMass getting ready to punt the football away again as they get closer to the end of their second quarter there. Utah and California still at halftime. Oregon goes 15-14 here against Washington. About 9 minutes left in their second quarter there. Kansas, in the Kansas versus Oklahoma game, Oklahoma punts it away to Kansas. Current score is 19-17. Kansas over Oklahoma. Over Oklahoma State, specifically. Sorry, I forget that the University of Oklahoma is technically the Oklahoma. Then you got Texas A&M having a 3-point lead now over Tennessee here, in the second quarter after kicking a field goal there. So Tennessee made a stop. Let's see, what about the Gators? Gators go 21-14. Let's go. So Trevor Etienne there taking over the leading rushing in Florida. Let's go, Trevor Etienne. Younger brother to the Jaguars' current running back, Travis Etienne. So nice to see him going 6 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown so far. So that's a pretty good one to see going up there. So Gators take the lead back in that game. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put any. I can't put picks in for college football up here, but here we go. Looking at some of the other games coming up, you got Louisville at Pittsburgh. Arizona plays Washington State tonight. We already talked about University of Missouri versus University of Kentucky. USC and Notre Dame going to battle after USC got handed after How'd the Colorado USC game go? Because that was last week, right? Oh no, that was like 2-3 weeks ago. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. So yeah, USC versus Notre Dame. That'll be kicking off at 7:30 tonight. Miami versus UNC. UCLA and Oregon State at 8 o'clock tonight, and North Carolina State versus Duke. Man, there were some good games and some really bad ones in the later part of the night. Miami Clemson next week. That's going to be a good game. Better be, at least. Oh, and we're back from commercial break as they are showing some highlights here from the Road Atlanta or Petit Le Mans IMSA series race here, running their championship finale as we are under the red flag at Las Vegas. Going back to yellow. Let's go. Back to yellow flag conditions here. USC played Arizona last week. Okay, there we go. I hadn't seen the USC score from last week. Overtime against Arizona. Yikes. But they end up getting the win. Curious to see if Caleb Williams ends up repeating as Heisman winner. All right, so Rajah Caruth trying to do what he can here, but I don't know if that car is going to see another lap of action here. So, yep, here we go. So, let's get back to the on-track action here. Austin Hill coming down pit road in 6th place here. I'm curious here as to what the plan is. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but... Oh, huge vibration. He thinks that there's a loose wheel, potentially. Team's going to check that one out for the 21. That's the whole reason they came down, I guess. But, man, I don't know. I'd be a little worried about that track position, because so far track position has seemed key for everybody except for the 20. The 20 is the only driver that's really been making track position seem like a non-issue, because he didn't need it, but he got it very quickly. So here we go. Austin Hill will be restarting tail of the field, and here we go. So going to, they go back to commercial break yet again. Yay. Well, I guess I get a chance to look over some of these other scores again. Oh, Oklahoma State. I don't know, was that a pick six, or how did they end? Nope, not trying to pull up the broadcast of the game. I just want to know what happened. I want to know what happened for that last scoring drive here. So far, I can't seem to figure out where that extra points came from for Oklahoma State. They must have gotten a touchdown. I just can't figure out. Oh, wait, here we go. All right, it was a rushing touchdown. Okay, I thought that they got a pick six because I saw that a couple minutes ago when I checked, the University of Kansas had the lead in that game, but no. 24-19 Oklahoma State. So they probably did get a pick, but Duke versus NC State will be an interesting game. It's just not really they're just two teams I don't expect to be all that good, so I'm not. So even though the game between them, it's kind of similar to, for a comparison to the NFL side of things, it's kind of like the Commanders-Falcons game happening tomorrow. Neither team is necessarily a superstar, but the two teams in the matchup against each other should be good, hopefully. Although I guess Duke is. I'm not sure why Duke's rated as well as they are, but yeah. Here we go. Let's see. Getting ready for getting back from commercial break, hopefully. Wait, Duke beat Clemson? Okay, I did not know that. I had not heard about the fact that Duke beat Clemson. Again, for the most part, I watched the Gators and the LSU games. I got to see what the score was there. I did not know that Duke beat Clemson. Oh, Duke dominated Clemson a few weeks ago. Okay. Impressive. And they beat UCF. Are you kidding me? In the Military Bowl there. All right. Honestly, Duke's not looking too bad, actually. Oh, that was from last year. Okay. So, yeah, so Clemson to open up the year. Then they beat Lafayette, Northwestern, UConn. They lost to Notre Dame last week. But, yeah, actually, honestly, Duke's actually looking like a much better team. That ranking actually makes a lot more sense now that I'm looking at the record. I just have never really thought of Duke as a powerhouse football team. But, yeah. All right. Credit to them. Duke's actually doing well. Yeah, I just hadn't... I must have missed the Clemson win. But, yeah, good job on them for getting those, a couple of those big wins there. So, we're rolling, though. Should be going green this time, I believe. The lights off on the pace car. It's hard to tell because we're riding in car. Yep, there we go. Pace car, dive in for cover here as we get ready to go back racing. Let's go racing, boys. And green. Green flag is out, and they are racing at Las Vegas once again. Let's see. Can we go more than 4 laps without a caution here? I'd like to imagine we can, but I'm already seeing some smoke, although that might just be speedy dry, honestly. Although, that's not the corner where they should have been applying speedy dry. Here we go, into 3. This is where I'm expecting to see some speedy dry. As Hemrick continues to look for the lead here. I believe Hemrick already had the lead at the line last time. No, actually, Custer able to take the lead here. So, Cole Custer taking the race lead away from Hemrick here. So far those colleague cars have not been able to make anything really happen working together here. So, I don't know. Maybe they need to start working with other people, but so far those two have not done much together here. Allgaier making his way up into the top 3. John Hunter Nemechek the second here. Is Nemechek really going to be contending for the second stage win? Although he was almost contending for stage win number 1 if we got another caution or 2. Riley Herbst running very well. Brandon Jones running well. Maya Snyder running well. Uh-oh. Barry's starting to make a little bit of a recovery drive here as he looks to the inside here on Chandler Smith for 6th. Yeah, man. So, some pretty good, honestly, some pretty good runs, though, for a lot of these guys. Again, I'm surprised to see Snyder up as high as he is. All right, let's see. Oh, Sammy Smith with a big wiggle in the middle of 3 wide there. As he loses a couple of spots here to Parker Retzlaff and Parker Kligerman. And here we go. Austin Hill making his way back through the field here. He's looking a little bit further on the back here. Well, hey, you know what? I also believe that Raja is pretty talented. If you want to see him in a better car, tune in to the Phoenix Championship weekend. Because he will be driving the Hendrick Motorsports number 17 entry. There is not very many cars better than a Hendrick Motorsports Xfinity car. I mean, granted, they haven't shown necessarily the speed this year, and obviously, Boris said getting failing to advance. was a big bummer, but yeah. Here we go. The 39 of Ryan Sieg making his way towards the top. He's into the top 10, actually. Okay, there we go. Ryan Sieg with a pretty good run. All right, here we go. Let's see. Creed settling in 8th place here. All right, again, we've got a lot of solid performances here. Curious to see what's going to happen between Maya Snyder and Sam Mayer here. Because Sam Mayer is going to be looking to try and make his way back up into that top 10. He needs some points. Say after last week or after last round where he was in the position of must win at Charlotte, he's gonna need points if he wants this one. I don't necessarily know if Caruth. Well, first off, I don't know what kind of funding Caruth has, because that's the big thing that takes to give it. But yeah. I probably would be looking for Rajah Caruth to get a decent full-time Xfinity ride too, but again, Deegan's got the money is kind of the biggest thing there. But I don't think Deegan is as bad as her truck performances have shown. I mean, I look to it similarly to what we saw with like Harrison Burton in the truck series versus his time in the 20 car in the Xfinity series. He looked a lot better once he got out of the trucks. In trucks, he very much struggled to perform, but once he got into the Xfinity series, he started to hit his stride. Now, obviously, he's come up the Cup and has fallen flat on his face, but that is besides the point for right now, at least. Obviously, we can talk about Harrison Smith's lack of performance so far in the league, but yeah, there's not much really to be talked about so far. Oh yeah, she could be way better, and that's why, again, I would maybe look at the fact that we've seen drivers struggle in trucks. I mean, Noah Gragson struggled in the number 18 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and then as soon as he got into Xfinity, again, he popped off. So, I mean, we've seen drivers pull off performances like this, where they just pop off seemingly out of nowhere just by moving up or down a series. I mean, obviously moving down a series makes a lot more sense to pop off than to pop off by moving up a series, but we've seen it again. Harrison Burton and Gragson both made major jumps going from Xfinity to truck, or going to Xfinity from the truck series. Trying to think of some of the other ones. I mean, in the other direction, you got Majeski, who stepped down into trucks after that pathetic number 60 car season in 2018. He kind of took a bit of time off from NASCAR in general and came back to trucks, and he looks like a championship threat. So, sometimes just one type of car just suits a driver way better than another. We've seen a lot of guys in Xfinity look ready for Cup and struggle. So, again, I'd be curious to see, but again, if I would have Hailie Deegan on a somewhat short leash, aside, if it weren't for the fact that she has the money, I feel like she should be on a pretty short leash at this point in the Xfinity series. But, yeah. Alright, let's see. Right now, though, Sammy Smith actually running pretty well here. He's making his way. He's passing, he's battling with Ryan Sieg. Oh, that's for 12th. Okay, or for 11th. I thought that battle was for, like, 9th or 10th there. But yeah, no, there we go. Sammy Smith takes the spot, and he is now up into 11th place here. Maya Snyder down into 13th here. Making some pretty good moves, honestly. I'm kind of surprised Maya Snyder's hung around as far forward as he has. Come on, Josh Berry. I need you to gain about 2 spots. But, yeah, here we go. We're settling in. Let me know who you guys think's going to win this race. I originally was thinking it was going to be either Barry or Allgaier. Was kind of my pre-race thoughts, and seeing Barry on the pole, I probably gravitated a little bit towards this being a Barry win. Not to mention, this is one of Josh. This was the site of Josh Berry's second ever Xfinity Series win when he was driving that #1 car, substitute driving for what's his name for Michael Annett when Michael Annett got injured during his final season. This was the race that this was one of those races that he won during that year. Sam Mayer up into 8th, Brandon Jones to 9th. It's definitely going to be close between those junior motorsports cars. You got 3 of them lined up there, 7th, 8th, 9th. But, yeah, here we go. Well, we got 45 people in the chat. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Of course, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. We do content like this all throughout the NASCAR season. We'll be back again tomorrow, obviously, for the Cup race. Next week, Junior returns to the Xfinity Series, so that should be a pretty good one. But, yeah, we've had some pretty good turnout, though, in recent streams. Obviously, the streams at the track were always going to do amazing. But yeah, the streams here in the studio, though, have done amazing, too. So, thank you guys for everybody that's made this year as amazing as it has been. Like, 2023 so far, we've done almost 100,000 views in the year 2023 so far, and that's all thanks to you guys, and nearly 10,000 hours of watch time. So again, all that, very much thank you to all you guys that have tuned in throughout the years. And if you guys are new, thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first race, if this isn't your first race, all right, here we go. Let's see. And I say, wow, I'm kind of surprised the stream from last week, from last week's Cup race, didn't end up climbing up to #1 overall in on views there. But I say, it's still holding a solid second place though to that Bristol night race. I wish there'd be a little bit more on track to talk about because there's just not much right now. Everybody's just kind of falling into lockstep here, and we're closing in on the end of stage 2. And so you didn't go ahead and start my poll, so it's gonna be a short poll here. Oh, a problem with the 2 car. That's not good. He's battling with the 39 for 9th here. Is Riley Herb's looking the outside here on not AJ. Why do I keep saying AJ? It's Allgaier, not Allmendinger here. And yeah, there we go. The 7 gets caught up behind behind Brett Moffitt here, who's going really slow for some reason. But yeah, here we go. John Hunter Nemechek, Riley Herbst passing for that spot there, gets him onto the pole here. I don't know if he'll get any votes, but it gets him into the top 3. And there we go. That makes it the other very valuable option there with Allgaier and whatnot. But honestly, 9 laps to go in the stage. I don't know if anyone's is going to be able to catch him past the top 2 right now. Nemechek and Custer might be the battle for the win in the stage here. Alright, here we go. So let's see. 8 laps to go here in the stage. Let's see. Just trying to see where everybody's running. Hemrick and Chandler Smith still holding on to 5th and 6th here. And Josh Berry's got a really big gap. I don't see Berry really being able to pick up many spots. He's going to mainly be worrying about defending from Mayer and from Sam Mayer and Brandon Jones here. Maya Snyder passing the 2 here for 12th. So yeah, I don't know what happened to Sheldon Creed, but it is hurting him here. Hey JD, how's it going? Rooting for Riley in the 98. You got 2 historic Oscars up there in the top 3, which you haven't been able to say much of this year. Is that a sign for the Cup race? It could very well be an interesting one. I'd be curious to see if it ends up translating, but so Riley Herbst confirmed he is going to be back in this 98 car for another season. So glad to see it. Again, he's been solid for this team. Not to mention bringing the funding, which I try not to make it a big deal with him, even though I definitely think it's a big deal as to why he's in that car. But this year, especially the first half of the season, he ran very well, and honestly, I felt like he had earned that spot in the 98. But, yeah, now you got some traffic out in front of the leaders. Oh, great. That might provide the opportunity for John Hunter Nemechek here. Let's see. 00 trying to throttle up as they go around lap traffic here. Nemechek looking the inside. Not going to be able to make it happen this time. Riley Herbst now on the back bumper of John Hunter Nemechek. It's going to be a tight fight here between Nemechek, Herbst, and Custer. Can Custer continue to catch lap cars in great spots? Because these last couple of issues here, he ended up catching them in almost perfect spots here. And there we go. Yeah, they all go to the inside there. And Cole Custer starting to gain a little bit of ground here on the other 2. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of be able to breathe for a moment. Alright, here we go. We got 3 laps to go. Of course, if you guys want to go ahead and put your pick in, do you guys think Cole Custer gets passed? So far, I don't. As I say, it's going to be close, but I don't know. Custer's looking like he's catching all the lap cars at all the right spots here. Oh, there we go. Custer's starting to get slowed up, but again, he gets a perfectly timed lap car to help continue that battle. Not to mention he's got the 2 guys behind him battling for position, which is going to slow them both down here. 98 looking the inside on the 20 here. Let's see. Can the 98 make it happen here? The 00 to the top of the racetrack. Is the 98 going to get there? I don't know. It's going to be close. That is for sure. As they take the white flag, the 98 is caught his teammate here. It's SHR 1-2 here. Let's see what happens here. Riley Herbst trying to win a stage at his home track here. Look in the inside. It's Riley Herbst in the 98. Cole Custer on that outside. Not much grip out there right now. And Cole Custer's going to come home second here. Riley Herbst, the winner of stage number 2 here. Second, Cole Custer. Third, John Hunter Nemechek. Fourth, Justin Allgaier. Fifth, Daniel Hemrick. Sixth, Chandler Smith. Seventh, Barry. Eighth, Mayer. Ninth, Sammy Smith. And rounding out your top 10, it's Brandon Jones. So, hey, that's a pretty good run there for Riley Herbst. Good job. And I was glad to see him running well. Again, it makes the Xfinity Series better the more competitive cars that we have that I feel are actually filled well, and this one definitely fits that bill at this point. Alright, here we go. Trying to find a quick text real quick. Alright, here we go. Couldn't find it, but oh well. Alright, here we go. Getting ready for 111 laps to the end of the race. Here we go. So, my picks are actually looking pretty decent right now. Hamrick inside the top 12. Snyder not running as bad as I thought he would. Barry, he's running one spot under where I thought he would. And then Mayer and Brandon Jones kind of hang around the back half of the top 10, kind of like I expected they probably would. So, actually, looking pretty good. But, yeah, here we go. So, they're now NBC is doing a promo for the Sunday Night Football. Come on. Like, this did not have to be the Sunday Night Football game. You could have flexed it out. Like, Bills Giants is one of the worst games this week. But, yeah, here we go. We actually had a pretty consistent amount of people in here. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuned in and has been tuned in throughout this race. We are currently we're still short of the halfway mark here by about 10 laps or so, but this final stage, there's going to be a green flag stop somewhere. The question is, where do you stop for it, and where will the final caution be called here? Because that last caution, that is always that ends up being the big one here. As everybody follows Riley Herbst down on the pit road, Nemechek, Custer, and Herbst, the top three will be following here on pit road. Nemechek, the first one of them to hit his pit box. There goes Riley Herbst. He makes the stop in his pit box. And then we got Cole Custer, the third and final driver to hit his pit box. Nemechek, a slow stop there, 14-4 for Nemechek. We've seen people in the 13s here. Riley Herbst with a 14-1, so he will gain a little bit of time here on Nemechek, but not a lot, surprisingly. And here we go. Cole Custer holds serve. No! Cole Custer does hold serve, sorry. Riley Herbst manages to maintain the lead as they come off pit road. I thought Cole Custer was going to get the lead back. Then you got Hemrick gaining 2 spots there. Nemechek losing 1. Allgaier losing 1. Chandler Smith coming out neutral. Mayat Snyder gaining 4 spots on pit road. Austin Hill gaining 4 spots on pit road. Everybody else pretty much coming out right where they came in. Which is alarming because that means that there are some big people who lost a ton of spots here. Like, the Ada Josh Berry definitely lost some spots here on pit road. So, here we go. The Wheeling Engineering IMSA sports car team. Man, this is going to be a good race. I'm going to hope to catch at least the end of it during the Pokemon tournament that I'm playing. But, man. Here we go. 6:30 on USA Network for the sports cars. And they're showing the sports cars. So, a little over 4 hours remain in that race. Oh, man. So, who's leading right now? Scott Dixon and the Chip Ganassi team currently leads overall in the IMSA sports cars. Not sure how much of this they're going to show. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now they cut back to Las Vegas as we get ready to start the final stage. So Dawson Cram, I'm gonna say they're showing Dawson Cram up in the top 10, in top 5. I'm assuming that's a glitch in the system. All right, here we go. Settling in for the run to the checkers here. So Cole Custer getting 19 stage points here. Herbst coming away with 11 on the day, despite not being a playoff driver. 6 of the 8 playoff drivers ended up earning at least 1 stage point. Josh Berry is not one of them. Josh Berry does not earn it. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, Berry's not a playoff guy anymore. Let's see. Josh Williams. He is driving the number 92 car, right? 92. He is 39 laps down in 33rd place. He must have gotten a piece of that big incident there. When what's his name? Rajah Caruth had some kind of tire issue on one of the restarts. He ended up piling up Anthony Alfredo, Josh Williams, Kaz Gralla, Kyle Weatherman, all kind of got piled up and taken out in that wreck. Rajah Caruth is actually still on the lead lap, which is surprising despite the wreck that he was in. But yeah, they ended up recovering, and he's still on the lead lap here. Do I think Hemrick's going to finish below 9th place? I don't know. Because Hemrick's looked very solid here so far today. He's going to be restarting up inside the top 5. It just comes down to, is it going to be a short run or a long run? Because on the long run, I think he looks better. So, if it's a long run, I don't think Hemrick's going to finish outside the top 9. As long as he finishes top 11, I'm good, but I would almost anticipate maybe a 6th, 7th place finish is where I anticipate him finishing. And big wheel spin on the restart for Daniel Hemrick as we're talking about him as they go back to racing there. He manages to hold on to it, but man, that was some big wheel spin as the SHR cars decide to lock out the front row here as opposed to choosing behind each other in line. So there we go, and Custer able to get the restart off, and he takes the lead over Herbst here as they get ready to go back racing. So here we go. Let's see. And Riley Herbst now getting passed by John Hunter Nemechek here on the first lap of Green Flag Racing. So Herbst definitely has some long run speed, but it just looks like maybe the short run speed might be just a little lacking here. Myatt Snyder, though, being up into the top 10. That's going to be curious. I'm curious to see where he ends up finishing. I predicted a wreck just because that seems to be the way that most of the drivers in that number 19 have done that aren't Cup experienced. Obviously, Trevor Bain's taken some pretty good care of it when he's gotten the chance to drive it, but Snyder and Joe Graff Jr. have not been necessarily the best choices. But, hey, you know what? He's up there and he's running pretty well, actually. Let's see. Who do I like in the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series? So, at the Cup level, I have really 4 guys. One of them was an Xfinity guy for a while, but ultimately he's gone back to Cup. But Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Stenhouse, and Allmendinger are kind of my big 4 in the Cup Series. I've gotten to see 2 of those 4 win in person. Got to see Kyle Busch win twice at Pocono and Bristol for the dirt race. Allmendinger last week, and then I got to see him win in Bristol back in the Xfinity Series a couple years ago when he and Cindric had that sliding finish. For the Xfinity Series, I don't know. I just like to see good competition in the Xfinity Series. Again, Allmendinger was my Xfinity Series guy for a while, so... But obviously, where he's not there anymore, Ty Gibbs would have been another, but he's moved on. I like Creed. I like Creed and Hill. The 2 RCR guys have kind of started to grow on me a bit. Trying to think of some of the other guys I root for a lot here. Oh, you You bet on Hemrick going below 8.5 here. I don't mind Kyle Larson. I know some people like him a lot more than others, and some people still hold his mistake from a couple years ago against him. I don't have anything against Kyle Larson aside from the fact that 2021 he kind of stunk up the show a bit, but I mean that's just great race car drivers doing great race car driver things, but he's never necessarily been my favorite, but he's fun to watch. I will say that much, especially when he gets that Highline car running well. He's always fun to watch. Dirt sprint cars and stuff, Chili Bowl, man, he is definitely a fun driver to watch, but again, not necessarily a favorite of mine. But yeah, that's pretty much how I would sum up my feelings on Kyle Larson. Not my favorite, but definitely he makes racing fun to watch. So hard to dislike drivers who make racing fun to watch. Though, no doubt, he's my second favorite Kyle in the Cup Series. But, yeah, here we go. So, everybody kind of settling into line here. You got Sheldon Creed and, oh, whoa! The number 9, or not 9, that's the number 11 car of Lane Riggs getting to the back bumper of Sheldon Creed. I thought Creed was about to get a run on the 18 of Sammy Smith, but no, the momentum ended up going the other way, and Lane Riggs got a run to the back bumper of the 2 here of Sheldon Creed. Okay, you got a lot of, a lot of people have a lot of different diecasts. I don't think I've got any large ones of Kyle Larson. I've got a Kyle Busch and a Matt Kenseth up by my TV. Up on my bookshelf there. But beyond that, I don't think I have any other cars kind of within reach. But I definitely have quite a few 1/64th scale, the Hot Wheels scale Kyle Larson cars. I do love that red, white, and blue Ricky Hendrick throwback that he's been running the last couple of years. But, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Oh, Herb's taking the lead back. Oh, when did that happen? I must have missed that one. Yeah, there we go. Riley Herbst goes back around Cole Custer for the race lead here. Yeah, I would say I like Ty Gibbs a fair amount. Certainly, I think this year in the Cup Series, he's gained back a lot of the respect that I feel like he potentially was losing over the course of the last year in Xfinity. But I've always enjoyed him. This is actually my dad's shirt, so yeah, because he's the bigger Ty Gibbs fan of the two of us. Yeah, he and I called the Cup race at Talladega last week or 2 weeks ago. So, but yeah, I like. I was a big Kyle Busch fan, so I was a big fan of a lot of the Gibbs organization guys. But, aside from Denny, we can agree that Denny's not the best. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. But yeah, right now Parker Retzloff looking pretty good here. Not sure what's wrong with the 8 car though. Where's the 8 car running here? The 8 car is back in 15th place. What is wrong with the 8 car here? Come on, Josh. Perry is definitely not running like a top 10 car right now. That's for sure. Which unfortunately I had him pegged for a top 5 car today. I don't have any of them really within reach right now, and we're say if we get another yellow or red flag, maybe I can pull out a few of my some of my 124 scales. But again, right now we got on track racing that we're talking about. So, but yeah, so I got the Skittle, the cars I do have up on my bookshelf though. Behind the camera is the Bristol, the 2018 Bristol win for Kyle Busch, and then Matt Kenseth's final win car there. So those are the two paint schemes I got up in front of me there. All right, but Okay, Herbst is actually starting to drag out a lead here. Could Riley Herbst be on track for his first win today? That'd be a big one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also have a couple of my 124 scales that I got or my 164 scales that I got at the track. The Kyle Busch net spend car, and then the program car, the 2023 Roval car. And I say, if Riley Herbst gets his first win in his hometown, I can't imagine what that party at the strip is going to be like after this one. Nemechek holding on to that third spot. Chandler Smith fourth, and Allgaier holding down that top five. Currently, again, just kind of a solid race. Nothing super spectacular right now. I mean, obviously, Riley Herbst being up there leading laps is very special because we've never seen him win before, but I mean, when it comes to the actual on-track product, though, it's kind of falling a little bit flat here. Okay, we did talk quite a bit about Hailie Deegan earlier, so I'll try and keep this brief. But the way I feel about Hailie Deegan in Xfinity is that sometimes changing the change of series can really help reinvigorate a driver's career. I mean, Noah Gragson and Harrison Burton, a couple of examples of guys who struggled for a couple of years in trucks, got moved up to Xfinity, and they both popped off. I mean, Harrison Burton got 4 wins in that Joe Gibbs Racing number 20 car, and Gragson obviously doing what he's done the last couple of years in Xfinity, and both earned Cup rides, although arguably I'd say that Harrison's has certainly not worked out as well. So I'm hopeful, but I feel like this should be a short leash for Hailie Deegan. So and here we go. We got Sammy Smith battling with Austin Hill here for 9th place. So say he's starting to get that momentum, and could Sammy Smith potentially make a run here on the 21? Still a lot of long way to go if he wants to try and win a race here. But Sammy Smith at this point just needs to get consistent. Needs to get some consistency because so far in these playoffs, and honestly the whole second half of the season after about like May, he's really kind of just falling flat with average finishes. Let's say Championship 4 for Xfinity and Cup. I mean, it's hard because I'll say that there's definitely 3 I think you can pencil in. Now, obviously, some surprise winners, but I feel like both series have a good possibility of a surprise winner popping up, and obviously, if the winner is one of those Championship 4 guys or one of those Elite 8 guys, it'll be tough to beat them, but I think Nemechek, Custer, and Allgaier are pretty solid, safe bets to make the Championship 4 for the Xfinity Series. The battle between Chandler Smith, Austin Hill, and Sammy Smith in points coming down the line is going to be interesting. And then obviously the question of can Sheldon Creed or Sam Mayer steal a win? Especially Sam Mayer potentially at Martinsville. The final race of this round, it very well could be a interesting day for him, but it's going to be hard to predict. But I think those 3, Nemechek, Custer, and Allgaier, are pretty safe to be in, and I think you'll see at least 1, if not 2 of those guys lock themselves in with wins in here and between here, Homestead, and Martinsville. Again, Nemechek has looked very good at Martinsville. He actually won the Martinsville race this spring, so not necessarily ruled out there. Oh, okay, so it wasn't Rajah Caruth that had the issue. There was a guy in front of him that had an issue. Seeing the replay again here. Seeing the replay of that one. And then for Cup, it's a very open door because we have a driver in the final 8 that I didn't expect to see there. So let me pull up the Cup playoff standings so I can so I can actually see exactly how many points above they are. So I think Byron should be the safest lock to make the Final Four. He's 20 points up on the cut line. Then the question is Truex and Hamlin. Truex has the points advantage, but he has been running awful in the playoffs. Could Martin Truex Jr. bounce back, especially with Martinsville in this round, a track he's found a bit of success at lately? Maybe, but I wouldn't put a ton of stock in it. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson have been two of the best in the series, but any given race on any given weekend. Now, obviously, Kyle Larson had a massive advantage with Homestead in this round, and Denny Hamlin too, because Denny Hamlin is actually pretty good at Homestead in terms of finding wins. So, of the four guys above the cut line, I think they all have a case that you could say they would make Final Four, but the four guys below, though, if Blaney gets to Phoenix, he's going to be a threat. Now, he's 10 points out right now, but again, a surprise wreck at Las Vegas. We saw it in the round of 16 a couple years ago. Almost eliminated Kevin Harvick, and it did eliminate Eric Jones from the playoffs that year. I think that was 2018. So, Tyler Reddick, he's been a very good mile-and-a-half driver, and similarly to Kyle Larson, he and Larson, I think, are the co-favorites to win the race at Homestead next week. So, I would keep an eye on both of them. Christopher Bell proved last year he knows what it takes to make it to that championship four, winning in a must-win situation at both the Charlotte Roval last year and Martinsville. So he's proven that he knows how to make it happen in the big time. And then Chris Buescher, he's happy to be here, but hey, he has some good runs, especially at Homestead, that I can think of. So it's hard to really pin down an exact four. I would probably say Byron, Hamlin, Larson, and I'll throw in Bell. That would be my four, I guess, for Cup. Would be those four. So I would see Truex, Buescher, Reddick, and Blaney coming to an end here, but certainly not an easy one here. So you went to Martinsville this year, okay, and you got to meet Corey LaJoie. Cool. He's a really cool driver. I've never gotten the chance to meet him myself, but from everything I've gotten to see from both him and his podcast there. Daniel Hemrick is currently running 9th. He's driving that number 10 car. He's swapped cars to start the playoffs here, but hey, we're always welcome to have some new NASCAR fans hanging out with us. So, yeah, no such thing as a dumb question, but yeah, Daniel Hemrick has slid all the way down to the 9th place. Actually, no, he actually just dropped a bit further here. He's now down in 11th. But, yeah, going to the track is always fun. I got the chance to meet Carson Hocevar at the Legacy Motor Club merch hauler. He was doing a meet and greet. And then I also got a chance to talk with some of the spotters from the Door Bumper Clear podcast after their live show that they did outside the track Saturday night. So, yeah, some pretty good, a lot of pretty cool guys around the NASCAR garage, both drivers and the crewmen. I mean, some of these tire changes and stuff, they are great. But, yeah, we're starting to we're kind of falling into a rhythm here. Riley Herbst, a 4-second advantage over Cole Custer. Then you got John Hunter Nemechek a few more seconds back, and again, we're just kind of falling into line here. We're waiting for that round of green flag stops to start here. Let me see what the fuel numbers are looking like here. I would say about 50, around lap 50, you'd start to maybe see some guys considering pit road, although that would be a little early for my taste. Let me see. Time behind. That's the one I definitely need. Let's put lap sled on here. Just trying to personalize my thing here so I can see. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. So last pit stops were for most of the field on lap 92. We're currently working lap 130. So we've gone about 40 laps here. Most of the field's on about 40 laps on their tires. So it could be, again, I would say the pit stop window is another 10, maybe 15 laps out is when you would see a lot of these guys trying to come to pit road. I think mathematically on fuel, they can go about 60 laps on a tank. So you could see them realistically, some of them trying to stretch it about 20 more laps. But I would say 10 to 15 would be my safe guesstimate on when we see the next round of pit stops, the first round of green flag stops starting here. So let's see. Currently working lap 133 here. Let's see. Oh, Allgaier's getting caught by his teammate Sam Mayer here for 5th. Are you kidding me? Come on, Sam Mayer. Mayer and Brandon Jones both up into the top 7. So I guess I'm just really bad at picking these guys because my picks were Hemrick inside the top 11. Then you've got Myatt Snyder finishing outside the top 12. Barry finishing top 5, and then Mayer and Brandon Jones both finishing outside the top 7, which right now they're both inside the top 7. And I say we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening here, because there was that penalty for the windshield bolts loosening at. Was that a penalty from Charlotte or was that from Talladega? Because I remember it happening recently. I think that was 2 weeks ago, right? When that penalty got handed out. Oh yeah, that was Kevin Harvick in the Cup race. The first year I started watching NASCAR. Okay, so you saw Larson win. So your first year watching NASCAR was in 2021. Okay. So yeah, we got a couple of new drivers here, or we got a couple new NASCAR fans here. Always glad to have more people interested in the sport. So here we go. Let's see. Chandler Smith though, looking very impressive here up inside the top 5. And he's still 16 points out though, outside the playoffs here. Again, Austin Hill actually having some very good point differential here. Even though he's quietly ran 8th all day today, he's got a lot of bonus points from his 3 wins on the season. Or is it 4 wins on the season? 3 or 4 wins on the season. He's got the points. He's currently tied with Custer in terms of points above the cut line right now as they're running. So, again, we'll have to wait and see, because Hill, the problem has been he might run quietly about 8th, but if a surprise winner comes up there and wins, they could potentially take his spot. Kind of surprised Custer isn't higher up in points, considering he's been running top 2 almost all day. Yeah, that was from Talladega. Yeah, I caught myself because I remembered that happened to Harvick on a shot where he almost won the race. So, yeah. Just whenever I go to a racetrack, kind of the week and a half between the previous NASCAR race and the next one, all kind of starts blending together. So, but yeah, here we go. Let's see. All right, let's see. What else do we got on track? Let me scroll around and see what we got on track for action, because really, there's only 3 drivers that are within 10 seconds of the leader right now, which is And I say, he's starting to lap cars, too. Are you kidding me? Lap 50 laps in the stage, and we've got pit stops. Who called it? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Daniel Hemrick kicking off the round of green flag stops, trying to put the pressure on to potentially force some of these guys into some earlier stops here. I called it. Lap 50 here. So Daniel Hemrick coming down pit road, and now he drags the two of Sheldon Creed to pit road with him. And the more and more cars that get dragged to pit road here, the more likely it is that we see some of these playoff drivers starting to get pulled to pit road. In particular, I would like to see maybe who's the worst running playoff driver right now. Are they all really in the top 9? Okay, so Creed is the first playoff driver to come to pit road. Chandler Smith, though, he's on his way. Yeah, there we go. Chandler Smith comes down pit road. He's the next one to get dropped. Here we go. So there we go. Everybody kind of cycling through here, and I don't think we see maybe we see a wreck coming in and off pit road here as Ryan Sieg comes down. But for the most part, I anticipate that after the green flag stops, we're going to see a lot more aggression here. Here we go. Justin Allgaier pits from the top 10 here. Austin Hill comes down pit road as well. So here we go. The full cycle starting to happen here. Allgaier, Hill, Lane Riggs, Josh Berry, Parker Retzloff all coming to pit road here. A lot of fast cars coming to pit road. Gonna start debate. The question is, when do the SHR guys come? Custer coming down pit road this time by. Custer, Nemechek, the next two to come down pit road. So far, though, Herbst has not blinked. So far, it's Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, the top 3. Those 3 have all yet to pit. Got a lot of... Oh, and here we go. Mayer, Mayat Snyder, both coming to pit road. Parker Retzloff comes to pit road. Riley Herbst coming down pit road now. So he stayed out about a lap longer than his teammate there at the SHR Xfinity team. Mayer getting his 4 tires changed here. A lot of people on pit road here. The question is, any contact on pit road? Looks good. And now here we go. The 98 of Herbst. Can he avoid a mistake here on pit road? Because mistakes on pit road can be very costly, as Brandon Jones maintains to be, I believe, the only driver so far to not pit. No, there we go. Connor Mosack comes to pit road. He was another one. Kyle Sieg hasn't pit yet. Kyle Sieg out there running 3rd right now. Daniel Dye up there as well. He must not have pit yet either. So we got a couple of drivers who have yet to pit. And here we go. Here comes Brandon Jones to pit road. Brandon Jones to pit road here. That'll hand the lead to Kyle Sieg for the time being, but I don't know how long Kyle Sieg wants to stay out there. Maybe just out there to lead that one lap there. And he certainly won't lead much more than that, because Riley Herbst has 4 fresh tires and it's coming like a freight train behind him. But, the green flag stops, though, do tend to spread out the field quite a bit, so. Let's see. Connor Mosack getting his pit stop done. Kyle Sieg. I'm curious to see what Kyle Sieg's plan is here. If I'm him, I'm trying to run this thing as close to dry as I can, and I'll afford to go almost a full lap down before I pit, just on the off chance I catch a caution. And wow, Rajah Caruth had a close call coming on to pit road with somebody. Not sure who that was. That was Cole Custer that he almost hit. Actually, they may have made a little bit of contact there coming on to pit road. So, yeah, there we go. That car of, the car of, what's his name? And Ryan Sieg with a pit road penalty, tire violation for Ryan Sieg. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm assuming that's not going to be the only one, but Ryan Sieg, the first one to get hit with a penalty here. And that's going to be costly because he was running pretty well. So let's see. Daniel Hemrick up into the 10th position here as they continue to cycle through. Again, Kyle Sieg still holding down that 2nd position. I anticipate that will be going away very soon. So there we go. Oh, that was John Hunter Nemechek on board. My bad, not Rajah Caruth that got into Cole Custer. I didn't realize which onboard we were watching. I thought we were watching Rajah's onboard. So that was actually John Hunter Nemechek who got into Cole Custer there. See, I'm gonna wait till Kyle Sieg comes to pit road, then I'm gonna go ahead and put up our poll because I typically do top 3, but obviously Kyle Sieg's not gonna be anybody's choice. I don't think for the race win. But yeah, who do you guys think's gonna win this race? Now that we've seen the field for a few laps, for a number of laps green flag here, do we think Riley Herbst can get it done in his hometown? And here we go. Here comes Sammy Smith coming down for a 2nd pit stop. Uh-oh, what's wrong with his car, I wonder? Are you kidding me? Loose wheel on the right side for Sammy Smith, and they're going to do 4 tires, and he's losing a ton of laps here. That is unfortunate here, and that is going to essentially put... Oh, wait, no, he's already out. Oh, wait, no, he's not out the playoffs. So, yeah, that's going to essentially make him a must-win the next couple of weeks here. Because it's not going to be easy for him to win it, or to point his way back from this. Now, maybe he can recover this race, but he was already on the back foot coming into this race, so... Rajah Caruth and Daniel Dye both getting dinged for speeding on pit road, I believe. Which is unfortunate here, but as we get to the 50 to go mark, they're about to go to commercial break, and we've got Kyle Sieg dropping back to 5th, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting up the poll here for the end of the race, so... So let's go with Riley Herbst, obviously. I think that's the easiest pick here. So we got Riley Herbst. He's running incredible. 8-second lead over Cole Custer here. All right, let's go ahead and go with Chandler Smith. And other. So there we go. There's the poll for the race win. Of course, go ahead and put your picks in. But say Nemechek, he's hanging in there in the 4th position here. And oh wow, he's actually making some moves. Oh wait, no, that's Riley not Riley Herbst. That's Austin Hill there in the middle. I'm used to seeing John Hunter Nemechek running the white and blue cars for the number 20. But no, that's Austin Hill that they're showing trying to make a move here on Sam Mayer for 6th here. As they both went around Kyle Sieg that last lap. So here we go. So that early race speed that John Hunter Nemechek had just seems to have kind of flatlined here in the latter parts of the game or the race. All right, Gators still hold a 3-point lead over South Carolina in that game. Going to take a quick peek at some of these as we are getting close to the end of the commercial break, and we're back from commercial break. Okay. Oof. A lot of games racking up a high score there. But we'll talk about that later. If we get another caution or something. But here we go. So right now, Sheldon Creed being held down one lap as Riley Herbst went around the two of Sheldon Creed, and he's going to be rushing to try and get to whoever that next car is, and it's Josh Berry. Josh Berry in the number 8 car. He is the next car for the 98 to try and put a lap down. I don't think Berry goes down a lap without a fight here. Obviously, I think your your front-running cars put up more of a fight, but again, Berry was on the front row here for this race, so let's see. So yeah, that was Austin Hill making a. So yeah, Austin Hill got very loose on the bottom underneath Justin Allgaier after coming in behind a lap car. He swerved up top to try and avoid it, lost a lot of grip there, and that's what ultimately allowed Mayer to get by Austin Hill in the first place there. So some pretty good racing, though, in the mid-pack here. Just none of it for the lead right now. But again, 42 laps to go. There's still a long way. Something could definitely happen. It's just a matter of not knowing when it's going to happen. So let's see. Again, 42 laps to go. It's going to be a run, but they should all have enough fuel to make it to the end here. So Cole Custer actually came into this race short on the cut line compared to, I'm assuming, Chandler Smith or somebody. But yeah, right now though, Chandler Smith, he's trying to hang on here. Up into that third position. So, I don't know. I want to see this battle between Barry and Riley Herbst for the race lead. So, Barry currently appears to be about a second or so out in front of Riley Herbst, but at this point, I would say that could very easily be caught up here. Because, yeah, here we go. Riley Herbst continuing to turn laps around 31 seconds. Meanwhile, Barry maintains being about 30 seconds ahead while running about a second a lap slower. Or, no, 0.3 of a lap slower. 0.3 of a second per lap slower is Barry's speed compared to Herb. So we'll see him get caught in about 3, 4, 5 laps. It appears to be, again, the closing rate. We'll have to wait and see if that holds true. Because it's hard to tell if a projection is going to hold true here. Speaking of projections, we apparently are projecting that it's either going to be Riley Herbst or somebody outside the top 3 coming to win this race. Nemechek, Mayer, both looking strong. Mayer takes the 5th spot from his teammate. There we go. So, Sam Mayer to 5th here. And they're continuing to do through the field. They're now looking at that at Sheldon Creed, the next highest playoff driver behind Austin Hill. But Sheldon Creed, he needs to turn some kind of switch somewhere because he has had a rough time trying to advance in these playoffs. And at this point, without a win, it's going to be tough. And wow, we got 60 people in here. Thank you guys for everybody tuning in. Of course, hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. We do content like this all throughout the NASCAR season. And there will be definitely some off-season content. Hoping the Advent Calendar Series does actually return with Patrick. But beyond that, definitely more content to come. So, here we go. Let's see. Josh Berry trying to stay desperately on this lead lap here. And I'm amazed with Matt Snyder here, hanging in there in the 11th spot here. But yeah, here we go. Barry is about to get caught here. There we go. Yep, the NBC guys just started pointing the cameras at it. The battle for the lead lap. Can Josh Berry stay on the lead lap, or is he going to get lapped? And they cut away from it. Are you kidding me? I mean, I know there's a battle for second here between Chandler Smith and Custer, but I think that battle for the lead lap is equally important here. Yeah, Lane Riggs is driving the number 10, number 11 right now. Oh, he's in 10th. Sorry, I misread the message because they have a little icon covering it. But yeah, no, Lane Riggs driving the number 11 car is in 10th. He had been driving the 10 prior to the playoffs, but then they made a number swap. Alright, here we go. So let's see. Right now, though, again, Riley Herbst just continuing to chug away as Chandler Smith makes the pass on Cole Custer, and Cole Custer loses another spot to John Hunter Nemechek here. So yeah, it's a pretty good battle here for the spot here, though. Thank you guys again for everybody that's tuning in. But yeah, Brandon Jones trying to get up into that top 5, top 10. Well, he's inside the top 10, trying to get closer to that top 5. Currently sits in 8th place here. Sam Mayer in 5th. But it's looking like we might even see a green flag run to the finish, which could be a very slow burn here. And if this doesn't end up turning into a Riley Herbst win, I think Riley Herbst will be very, very disappointed considering how great he's looked today. He's now led almost half the laps on the day. He's at 71 laps led so far. Still a lot of laps to go. He could potentially lead over half the laps in the race. But, yeah, right now, though, I'd be curious. And there we go, Nemechek. Look at the inside here. 3 wide for second. One of those is a lap car, but still, they were 3 wide there. Chandler Smith and John Hunter Nemechek for second. Connor Mosack, the lap car involved there. And there we go. John Hunter Nemechek takes the second spot here, and now he can set sail for Riley Herbst. So, Herbst has an 11-second lead over John Hunter Nemechek here for the battle, as Chandler Smith goes to 3rd here. So here we go. Let's see. Oh man, last to first. I mean, these types of races are always interesting to see a last to first, though. Oh man, here we go. Could today be Riley Herbst's first race win? He goes by Ryan Sieg. That's another Ford car. One of the very few Ford cars out here. Could he be in position to try and go for the win? It very well could happen here. But yeah, here we go. Yeah, we got we just crossed the 30 lap to go mark here. We're getting closer and closer to that ever elusive finish to the race. Josh Berry going a lap, has officially gone a lap down here. So it's going to be tough for anybody else for him to get this one back without a caution. In fact, I'd say it's going to be near impossible for him to get back up into this fight without a caution. But cautions are definitely not impossible here. Alright, so here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Again, just kind of looking up and down the grid, trying to find something else to talk about other than Riley Herbst so that we don't commentate or curse him. Ryan Reed here running in the 20th place. Just kind of taking a look around ahead of Rajah Caruth in 21st. Three laps down, but honestly, Ryan Reed's not doing terrible compared to where I think a lot of us expected he would probably be. Maya Snyder only a little bit ahead of him. So here we go. Let's see. Again, I know commentator curses as real as most people do, but man, it's hard to find anything to talk about other than the dominant performance that Hill is that Herbst, is putting on here. So 25 to go here this is going to be a tight one here as we get down to the end of this race. Can Riley Herbst hold on? He's continuing to stretch the gap. It will be a big win if he can pull it off in front of the hometown crowd here in Vegas. There's lots of drivers who have never gotten a chance to win it in front of their home crowd. Here we go. But yeah, ultimately though, this race is starting to get a little stale because there's not much else happening anywhere in the field. All right, here we go. Maya Snyder, the next car in front of Riley Herbst to go a lap down here. Say Riley Herbst currently co-favorites with Chandler Smith to win the race according to the chat poll here. And there we go. Riley Herbst leaving the inside here on another lap car before he gets to Myatt. Myatt continuing to try and fight his way up the grid here before Riley gets to him, trying to pass all the other multiple lap down cars here before he gets to go his first down. So here we go. The 23 to go here. And there we go. Passing Jeremy Clements here is Riley Herbst. So Herbst continuing to just kind of maintain the gap here. 13 seconds now between himself and Nemechek. The long run does seem to favor Riley Herbst, but a short run could be disastrous for him. Let's see. 22 to go. 22 more times around. And let's say we're starting to look like other might be taking over the favorite role here as we continue to have votes pouring in. And CJ McLaughlin here is who they're featuring. Why are they featuring him? I mean, I know it's a blowout, so we're probably just trying to fill the content here. Alright, I'm just going to take a quick peek. Gators still leading by 3 here, although they're getting ready to punt it back to Carolina. And then Utah leading in their game. Oregon's going to lose to Washington, it looks like, although still plenty of time. It's only the third quarter there. Penn State 49-0 over UMass. Oklahoma State versus Kansas City, or versus the University of Kansas is pretty close in the fourth quarter there. And Tennessee versus Texas A&M is pretty close in their game too. 13-14 the score there, with Tennessee up 1. But yeah, right now Riley Herbst back over in our main event here. Riley Herbst continuing to look very strong. He's trying to catch Myatt Snyder for the lead. Or not for the lead, but for the lead lap here. Can he lap Myatt Snyder? Because if he can, that would eliminate Josh Berry from potential free pass conversation if he does get lapped. Or if we do get a caution, I mean. So here we go. Let's see. So right now, yeah, Creed is in a must-win at the next 2 races, it looks like, based on points. Sammy Smith gonna need a good day as well at both the next 2 races to have a shot to advance. So we got 62 people in here. Thank you guys for everybody that's tuning in for the end of the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here. Of course, remember to like and subscribe if you guys are new for, we'll be doing these live broadcasts for most of the NASCAR season and definitely not slowing down at all. Let me see. I want to see what I'm going to, if I can make if it's going to be a triple header next week. It will not be because, the truck race is at noon on Saturday as opposed to it being a Friday night race. Come on. That's a bummer. So it won't be a triple header, but I will be doing a double header at Homestead. It'll be Cup and Xfinity both. But here we go. 16 laps to go. What's the oh, they're talking about margin of victory here. It's going to be a big one, that's for sure. If Herbst is able to close it out without a caution. I just don't know if he'll be able to close it out with out of caution here. Yeah, I'll be doing a stream tomorrow for the Cup race. Yeah, I was just looking forward to the Homestead weekend. To say, like, hey, Bush fan, how's it going? Nice to see another Kyle Busch fan in the chat. But, yeah, right now, as I say, winding down, what time's the Cup race tomorrow? It is, okay, it's at 2:30, so I'll definitely be home in time for that one. Let me see what the exact start time is for the Cup race next week. Just looking forward to Homestead, because Homestead's a very unique track. Okay, so yeah, Martinsville's the one Cup race I might be late for. I will still be doing it. It'll just be, I might be late. Trucks, I'll definitely be doing Phoenix. And then for the Xfinity series, I'm obviously doing this current race, and then Homestead and Martinsville. So I'll be doing every Xfinity race for the rest of the year as well. But yeah, I'll be here tomorrow though. 2:30 Eastern for the Cup Series race, but we still got 13 laps of action here from Las Vegas. Still plenty of time for something to happen. Maya Snyder has gone a lap down while we were checking the start times for all that, but right now Riley Herbst, he's looking untouchable. 14-second lead here and only 10 cars left on the lead lap. We have not seen a dominant performance like this in a long time. But Nemechek currently holding down second. If we do see a caution flag, it could be a big one here. But, yeah. Glad to see, though, a fellow Kyle Busch fan in the chat. Don't see too many of those guys around, although he actually got a better reception at Charlotte than I was expecting him to get when I was down there. Watching Austin Hill right now battling with Allgaier here. They're fighting it out for 6th place here. Yeah, I'm not opposed to the 98 getting the win here. Will Riley Herbst get the 10 car if he wins? I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency from him in Xfinity before making that call, but I think the big thing here the biggest thing here for the 98 and for Riley Herbst is, one, I think that ride is Eric Almirola's to lose. Eric Almirola, it's his choice. He's earned the right to choose if he wants to retire or not. Now, a couple years down the line, that choice might not be up to him, especially if Riley Herbst and Cole Custer continue to tear it up in Xfinity, but I would like to see at least one more year of consistency out of Riley Herbst. Similar to how the first half of the season went. If he can do that for the entire season next year, I'd definitely be thinking about giving the 10 to Riley Herbst after next year. I just think I want to see one more year of Herbst consistency out of it before giving him that spot. Riley Herbst has the long dollars, but remember, Eric Almirola has Smithfield behind him. And right now, that 10 car is entirely funded by Smithfield. And Smithfield, to the best of my knowledge, will be back if Eric stays. Is just down to whether or not Eric stays as to whether or not the Smithfield money stays. And here we go. Chandler Smith looking to the outside here. He's got Cole Custer underneath him as they go beneath a lap car there. But, yeah, both those drivers do have a bit of funding behind them, so. Gibbs gonna get second win at Vegas, but Byron's gonna win. Not sure I understand that comment there. So you're talking about the Joe Gibbs Racing organization winning at Vegas, or you talking about Kyle Busch winning at Vegas? But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Byron go out here and get this win here. So let's see. We got Riley Herbst. So again, he's just continuing to stretch it. It's maintaining it 14 seconds. He hasn't really stretched it a ton, but we got less than 10 laps to go. Do we see something go wrong here? So far, it's not looking likely, but still a long way to go here. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, Byron won the spring race. Honestly, Hendrick had a lot more speed, I would say, though, in the spring race here for the Vegas race. Now, that's not saying that they can't go out here and dominate. I mean, Larson's looked very good. You know, Byron, the most recent winner on 1.5 miles for the NASCAR Cup Series, but I don't think it'll be an all Hendrick show like Las Vegas and Phoenix were in the spring. Now, depending on, again, Phoenix might end up being a little bit of that, but so far, Ryan Blaney in the 3 Phoenix races since we got the new car for the Cup Series, second, fourth are his 3 finishes. If that isn't consistency bordering on championship upset there, I don't know what is. The drivers, I don't think, want to see him in contention at Phoenix here. As we got 4 laps left here, Riley Herbst continuing to truck his way towards a big win here. You think Denny's gonna get the win then, or are you talking about, he's gonna win the championship? Because I don't know about Denny Hamlin. He's been good, but the question is, can he close it out in the biggest moments? And from what I've seen from him and his team, I would say maybe not. But here we go. 3 laps to go, coming up on 2 to go here for the 98. All you need to do is just get to, you have about 1.5 miles left. Once you see that white flag, there will be nothing left here. Nothing that could go wrong here, but we got 2 laps to go. 23:11 showing speed. That's an interesting one. I think Reddick for sure shows some speed. I'm curious to see how Bubba looks, because obviously this is the 1-year anniversary of what he did at Vegas last year, which ultimately led to him being suspended for the Homestead race. But here we go. Let's see. It's going to be the white flag. Riley Herbst takes the white flag in the lead. He has a 14.9 second lead. There is very little competition or contest here for Riley Herbst as he goes into 1 and 2 here, looking for his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series win. The Las Vegas native here in the Las Vegas sun. He's going to be partying on the strip here tonight. As coming through 3 and 4, it's going to be Riley Herbst off the final corner, and nobody's going to catch him. Riley Herbst, winner here in Vegas. So Riley Herbst goes and gets the win at Las Vegas. Let's go. And we have 69 people in the chat. Thank you guys for everybody who's tuned in. Waiting to still see second place. Second place has still not crossed the finish line. Of course, if you guys are excited for the Cup race tomorrow, leave a like and subscribe. I'll be doing the Cup stream. And there we go. There comes the rest of them. Nemechek second. Third, Cole Custer. Fourth, Chandler Smith. Waiting on fifth. Fifth is Sam Mayer. So that's your top 5 from today's race. As always, we will be going through the entire finishing order, giving every team their dues. But so far, I don't think 6th place has even finished the race yet. And here we go. Oh, Riley Herbst doing his burnout on the front stretch here. Yeah, that isn't entirely an inaccurate statement. I mean, in particular, I think I remember them adding too much tape at Homestead in 19, I think it was, that cost them the chance at the championship. So, yeah, certainly there's been some bad luck in it, but there's also been some times where he's gone and thrown it away. But that is a happy Riley Herbst there, jumping up and down. He is so excited. You gotta love to see a young guy finally getting their first win. And Riley Herbst getting it done here at Vegas. So we're gonna quickly run through the full finishing order while he celebrates on the front stretch. If anything else interesting happens at the track, I'll obviously go ahead and mention it. But yeah, so waiting to see it. Okay, there we go. It just updated. There we go. Riley Herbst first. John Hunter Nemechek second. Cole Custer third. Chandler Smith came home fourth. Great day for Chandler Smith, especially in terms of trying to solidify a playoff spot there. Mayer, not a bad run there in 5th place. A lot better than I thought he would. Nemechek, or not Nemechek, Allgaier coming home 6th. 7th comes home Austin Hill, the next non-playoff driver besides Riley Herbst here. Getting the 8th place is Brandon Jones. 9th, Daniel Hemrick. 10th is Lane Riggs, the last car on lead lap. Snyder, Barry, Parker Kligerman, and Parker Retzloff, and Sheldon Creed, all those drivers 11th through 15th, 1 lap behind the race. And everybody said he couldn't do it. That is pretty accurate. But hey, you know what? I'm happy to see him get it done. Ryan Sieg, 16th. Sammy Smith coming home 17th. Kyle Sieg comes home 18th. Only 2 laps down. Impressive for Kyle Sieg after that strategy gamble there. Connor Mosack comes home 19th. And that's the last car, only 2 laps down. Ryan Reed in 20th, rounding out your top 20. Then you got Daniel Dye, Jeb Burton, Rajah Caruth, Brett Moffitt coming home 24th. That's surprising. Not sure why he was so quiet and essentially anonymous today. And then Brennan Poole coming home 4 laps down. Then you got Stephen Parsons in the 26th spot. 27th belonged to Ryan Ellis. 28th, Blaine Perkins. 29th, CJ McLaughlin. 30th, rounding out your top 30, is Jeremy Clements. Then you got Dawson Cram and Joey Gase, the last drivers who were running at the finish of the race. Then you had Williams, 33rd, out the race, 145 laps down. Anthony Alfredo, 34th position, also out in that same wreck that claimed Williams. Kaz Gralla, also out in that same wreck, comes home 35th. 36th, Kyle Weatherman. 37th goes to Joe Graff Jr. And 38th, and the final car in the race, Patrick Emmerling. Early engine issue really just put an end to his day very early on. So, there we go. All right. Yes, it was definitely a dry race after after he got the lead. I don't think there was much question as to what was happening there. But honestly, not a bad. I wouldn't say a bad race. I might say a 6 out of 10. But yeah, see you tomorrow, LTX. We're gonna be back again tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern, for the NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas. First race of the round of 8. First golden ticket to the championship 4. Obviously, today it doesn't end up going to anybody because Herbst ain't a playoff driver. So, curious to see who might get it in the race tomorrow. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new so you guys don't miss any future videos. But until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next video, live stream, or whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye!